What's up, YouTube? I want to talk about the atom. uh, I just came across a thing all of a sudden. I just like went down a tiny little rabbit hole, and I got on the whole thing about the atom being real or not. And I've been down this before, and I couldn't find an answer. So I thought I'd try again. I thought I'd try to find an answer to how was the atom discovered? How was it discovered? How did it become known that the atom is a thing? That the atomic structure is a thing. Uh, have you ever tried to do this? Have you ever tried to do this yourself? Ever tried to look up on the internet, try to do some research and find not about the atom, not about how it was discovered, what they went through to discover that it exists. All I can find, let's go. Let's look at it. All I can ever find, you find Democritus in 450 BC. The the one I came across, it literally says that he like proposed. Was it this one? Here's this one. It talks about what is an atom, and then here's this section. It says, "How did we discover the atom?" Okay, how did we discover the atom? That's what it says. That's the word it uses. It's very important that it uses the word discover here in the title. So we'll go down and we'll read a little bit of it. The concept of atoms as we know it would largely remain dormant for hundreds of years. That's the first sentence. So that's the first sentence. Then in 1808, John Dalton discovered an interesting fact as he was studying the various elements, whatever, blah, blah. So the first sentence, they're already past discovering it. It would largely remain dormant for hundreds of years. So it's already been discovered. In this paragraph, it has already been discovered, and they're not telling us how. And they're already moving forward in the timeline and going and talking about John Dalton putting tin and oxygen together to make new compounds and However, Dalton also added his own observations, like the theory that atoms could not be created or destroyed, or that the atoms in a given element were identical. I'm going to put this entire thing up just so that you know I'm not there's the title. Here, so you know I'm not excluding. Here is the bottom of the article, the bottom of the page. And then there's the top. That's it. It's this right here. What is an atom? How did we discover the atom? But they don't tell you how they discovered it. Like, it goes on talking here. And also, with all this in mind, our understanding of the atom would continue to evolve. You mean you're creating it? You mean you're creating it as you think of it? Freemasons? Let's go find another article and see if another article tells us how it was discovered. Who first discovered that atoms are made? No, we want to know that it's discovered. The discovery of the atom. What even is this? Isn't even what we're looking for. Who discovered the atom? The atom. Matt discovering the atom. A brief history. The idea that matter is made from tiny particles goes back well over 2,000 years. It is thought that the concept of the atom was originally this is important wording. It is thought that the concept of the atom was originally conceived by the Greek philosopher Leucippus. However you say that, during the early part of the 5th century BCE. It is also sometimes accredited to his pupil Democritus. It would be hundreds of years, however, before these ideas could be backed up by experimental data. That's because they're ideas, and it took them hundreds of years to figure out how to fake it. The Anglo-Irish, so like, considered by modern about the relation between volume. Why are we on volume and pressure and temperature and gases now? You haven't even told us how you discovered it yet. John Dalton published one of several papers outlining his theories on the behavior. We're on gases. We want to know classifying the known elements is to order the known elements. You haven't told us how you discovered the thing yet. Okay, new page. The discovery of atomic structure. Long before the end of the 19th century. Alright, so my camera keeps acting weird for some reason. I'm not sure why. Back to the discovery of the atomic structure. Long before the end of the 19th century, it was well known that applying a high voltage to a gas contained a low pressure in a sealed The discovery of atomic structure. Right, we're talking about gases. Called a gas discharge caused electricity to flow through the gas, which then emitted light. Researchers trying to understand the phenomenon found that an unusual form of energy was also. This form was okay. In the paper, Thomson proved that atoms were not the most basic form of matter. You see what I keep saying about the grammar, the wording. When you try to look up about the discovery of an atom, they're verbally, grammatically already past talking about the discovery of the atom. J.J. Thomson proved that atoms were not the most basic form of matter. He demonstrated that cathode rays could be deflected or bent by magnetic or electric fields, which indicated the cathode by measuring these particles were emitted by the negatively charged cathode and repelled by the negative term. Oh man, they'll tell you everything about it though. They'll tell you anything. They'll tell you everything. They'll give you so many words. The Americans, but like, see, nothing. most relevant to the field of chemistry, found that the mass to charge ratio of cathode rays is independent of the nature of the metal electrodes or the gas, which suggested that electrons were fundamental components of all atoms. They're already they're just talking about atoms. So this one's not going to tell us. This one's not going to tell us either. Building on the word performed the science that led to the modern view of the structure of the atom. Okay, so we have to rewind, right? Because we're too far ahead. Discovered that certain materials such as uranium saw emitted for all three shared the Nobel Prize in Physics. Coined the term radioactivity to describe the emission of energy rays by machines. Found that one particular order was substantially more radioactive than most, which suggested it contained. Okay, starting. But how did you discover that the atom exists at all? Can you tell me that? Let's go to a different article. This one's not helpful. I'll tell you everything about whatever they want to tell you about. That's the one we just read. The discovery of subatomic particles. Subatomic particle or elementary particle, any of various self-contained units of matter or energy. Discovery of the electron in 1897 and the atomic nucleus in 1911 established that the atom is actually a composite of a cloud of it was found that the nucleus is. We're already past discovering it. It's the first couple sentences. We're already past discovering it. It's the same pattern as last time. Subatomic particle or elementary particle, any of various self-contained units of matter or energy. Discovery of the electron in 1897 of the atomic and of the atomic nucleus in 1911 established that the atom is actually it established that the atom is the thing already. You can't. We'll go to the next article. You can't. This is a point I'm trying to make. You cannot look up how the atom was discovered. You can only look up that it was discovered and then whatever they want to tell you about it. I urge you, if you can find an article that genuinely tells you from zero to 1, 2, 3, starting at 0, and telling you how they discovered the atom from scratch, and not jumping to 12 and being like, we discovered the atom, here are the properties. If you please send it to me, because I'm super curious. I really don't think. I think they're making stuff up.